afternoon, everyone. Happy Women's History Month. Yes, and then happy Social Work Month, which is my discipline. So what you shared is so resonant, not just in classics, but in every discipline across the institutional spaces. So for those of us here that want to be forward in our collective I, it's how we're going to be intentional about changing that dynamic. For those of us who show up every day as people of color, and especially in Black bodies and spaces that were clearly not designed for us. So I have on this sweatshirt. I got to shout out my friend Kelly McIntyre that gifted it to me. This is Phyllis Wheatley, who is an African woman who was sold into slavery at 7 years old, probably a little bit older than the age I was when I portrayed her in a preschool play, who then the family that bought her, dare we say, allowed her to learn how to read and write because they could see her gifting. It was clearly evident. And she published a book at 20 years old. So I just think of these things. This is not what I designed. This is ancestral spirit and how it moves together in this collective I and creates things that we have not even the full imagination and breadth and scope to create because so much of the social exposure has been kept from us. So it's all in spirit. So when we come together like this, that we're able to emit just a piece of the radiance that we all have. So I hope that inspires you. And thank you, Leila, Easa, and Jennifer Steger for your book, Public Feminism in Times of Crisis. As a resistant Black woman to feminism, as you've known, I've grown a lot and evolved a lot in my thinking and how I function in the world. And also to Nandini, I'm so happy to see you here. So I'm gonna read from this because I don't have the paper. Wise-hearted hands. Grown from the earth, my roots extend across the oceanic expanse, winding and deep with the nourishment of many lands emerging from one, lyric I. Lyric I be we, natural beauty, walnut pigmented and rigid, patterned and protected. Woolen locks, my goddess locks, salt and pepper. Framing face freckled with ancestral kisses, poignant and pretty with almond eyes, impassioned. Nose leading spirit to the tribal ancestors that direct the path. The rhythm of the djembe pulses through my veins as calabash body is adorned with cowrie from the wealth of the shores from whence we come. I am the evolution of culture, the embodiment of collective customs and artistic expression, cultivated in Alkebulon and transcendent through time. Our song sings joy, sorrow, and promise. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. That's from the Bible, Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5. Weeping, like the willow, my eyes sting with the beads of blood, staining soil and urban concrete. My tears ripple and wave like the Atlantic as she swallowed liquid rubies into her belly. Indigenous hands harrowed in soil, nourishing generations to come. Seeds plentiful as corn, hidden behind verdant husks. Lyric I, be we, hearing history of regal splendor harnessed by human hands. Lyric I, be we, emoting, dance, and jubilee suppressed litigiously. Lyric I, be we, acknowledging greatness amid oppressive institutions.
Right.
Lyric I, be we, loving abundantly and intergenerationally. Lyric I, be we, H-E-A-L, heal. Gifted griots share stories of our ancestral angels who whisper wisdom in the breeze of the native pecan trees. My gifted griot is Granny, whose wise words heal. Lyric I, be we, honoring Granny. I am known as Granny among many children. I always took the time with children's children that are not in the family, and everyone calls me Granny. Bethina Henderson Hargrove. Through our gifted griots, we hear history, sharing stories of life from love to language and the grace, poise, power, and fortitude necessary to overcome. Taking the time and care with children's children that are not in the family is the power and essence of the collective experience. The intentionality to build a strong foundation with love and community that will withstand a multitude of generations is the message of milk and honey needed to comfort and sustain us. The wisdom in the breeze encourages to take time, share time, honor time with children. Our time is presented as a valuable asset, and we are often inclined to feel that we must hoard the gifts that it yields. May we be inspired to share time in efforts to transcend it. I enjoyed so much working with the people. Anyone that would come to my house wanting to know how to make anything, I would take the time out to help. Later, we began to make quilts, which was very good. We would put in a quilt and work on it every time we met. It would sometimes take a month, but when we finished, it was beautiful. Bethina Henderson Hargrove. Through our gifted griots, we emote freely. Opening our heart and space to others allows us to cultivate community with creativity. Many hands bring scraps of fabric worn and weathered by daily life and ushered into new glory through a cutting to establish symmetry. Colors and textures caressed by fingers profoundly accustomed to work. Fabric gently kisses hands needing connection and comfort from thorny brush, scalding pots, and tear-stained faces. Granny's gingered hands clasp mine to teach me quilting, while sharing life lessons that intertwine the knowledge of those who came before her and will inform future generations. I am a woman evolving. I am a cozy quilt, patched together with vibrant and textured fabrics that tell a story of heritage. A quilt with history as a true reed in Africa, with branches extending to America through the land of the Cherokee and Lenape people. I invite patterns radiating the verdancy of the motherland, celebrating indigenous grounding and coloring cosmopolitan culture. And all the women that were wise-hearted did spin with their hands and brought with which they had spun, both of blue and of purple and of scarlet and of fine linen. And all the women whose hearts stirred up in them wisdom spun goat's hair. That's from the Bible, Exodus chapter 35, verses 25 to 26. Through our gifted griots, we acknowledge each other, embracing our challenges and triumphs. We acknowledge the pain that is endured, yet with purpose to be revealed. We acknowledge the power of hands in the heart's gifts. Granny's wise-hearted hands held the collective mastery of community craft. And yet, weavers, like quilters, have often produced their work in community, public feminism in times of crisis. In our collective, we embody LOVE, love. We weave together stories of challenge and triumph, the darkness of pain, yet festooned with the vibrancy of joy. A patchwork of patterns, textures, sizes, colors, fastened together with threads of love and cords of care. I am a quilter. I am a community cultivator, and the community cultivates me. Lyric I, be we, heal. On our journey, we are healing our hearts from the pernicious piercing that denigrates us, healing our minds from the lies that separate us from our creative expression, healing our spirits from the separation of ancestral guidance, healing our bodies from the insults that breaks our backs, haunts our hair, and festers in our faces. Lyric I, be we, hearing our history, emoting, acknowledging the harm, and loving ourselves unconditionally with the guidance and wisdom of our ancestors' inspiration. Yours in service, Pia J. Hargrove. And in love.